This is a first for me. Sitting here riding, that's not the first. The first is I'm taking a selfie. Never thought I'd take a selfie. And there's my beautiful bride.
Hi.
Just doing what she does normal. In fact, I'm gonna hang up here in a minute and I'll take a picture of her going down the road. Anyhow,
just touch the button and turn it around so it's on the outside.
36 degrees and she is freaking out because it's raining and the white stuff is on the ground.
Yes.
Bye. You're still dark. You're in the dark.
The dark.
And if you can see that white stuff out the window, I'm going to go straight ahead. This is her favorite stuff to drive in. She just loves the white stuff.
Not.
Right, not. Well, you talk about the creature comforts of home. My wife bought a selfie stick, and I'm using it. I don't know if you can see her over there. Yeah, there's my bride.
I bought it so that I could get straighter pictures. Listen.
Well, I gotta tell you about my bride. In 2001, she decided, or maybe I should say I decided.
That's right. That's right.
That we'd make more money if she'd drive, and I couldn't see any reason why she shouldn't be driving a big truck. Because when she went with me to help me hook up, she was backing them up, moving them around. So I thought, what the heck, we might as well make some money. So I went to Cold Iron and said, if my wife gets her CDL Class A, would you put her on if I monitored her whatever, looked after her and kept her down the narrow straight path, if they'd put her on. And they were hurting for drivers at the time, and they said sure, test, and passed it with flying colors. So we went out to the Ryder place and rented a Mack day cab and a Maxwell with a long flatbed trailer with absolutely nothing on it. And we spent the day driving around town, and then the next day she went over to take her driving test. And she got all done with the driving test, was back at the place, and the lady said, now explain the air system to me. And she might as well have been talking in who knows what language, because my wife froze up.
It was the air brake system.
The air brake system.
And the S-cams.
And the S-cam. That's what it was. Anyhow, might as well have been talking in tongues because my wife went brain dead. So anyhow, she was supposed to show where the air compressor was. We tipped the hood on the truck, and I couldn't even find it on that thing. Anyhow, she didn't pass the test. Had to come back next week. Alright, the following week, she went over, figuring she was going to have to do the whole driving test again. Come to find out, all she had to do was talk to the guy, and I don't even think, what did he ask you? Did he ask you about the brake system?
Yes, and all he wanted me to do was make that air fail. Pump the brakes until the handles popped out, and then rebuild the air.
So essentially all she had to do was part of a level 2 inspection, pump the foot pedal until all the air leaks out and you get the warning horn going off, and then see how long it takes to build back up and say, okay, I got good brakes or I don't. So anyhow, that's how she got her CDL. And then she went to Cold Iron, and I don't remember the guy's name that rode with her, but they got in the truck and she was going for a road test, and I think they went one block down the street and back, and he said, I don't know why I went with you, you do just fine.
I went about 2 blocks away.
You went 2 blocks.
There was a stop sign go with you, but go out for a little bit longer and we'll get you back.
Well, anyhow, she came back to the place, and that was, I think we left that same day, didn't we? That was your driving test if we hit the road.
Yes.
So anyhow, she was supposed to be taking a single, pulling the pickup. Well, Bill Croy out of Office 1 out of Seagoville, Texas, had a trailer in the yard there.
Yeah, right there at the Cold Iron Yard.
At the Cold Iron Yard that was going to St. Joe, Missouri. Wasn't that where it was going?
Yes.
St. Joe?
Yeah.
So instead, I had to hook the pickup up to the back of the second truck. So I went down the road as a three-way. The first truck, the second tractor, and my pickup being towed as the third unit. While she left with a 53-foot trailer on. Now bear in mind, I was told, and everybody else was, she was to do a single. Well, we told Bill Croy that, and Bill Croy asked me, can she drive it? And of course, I left my mouth overload my brain, and I said, of course. The Hera incident happened when we took the exit. She got a little.
They had barrels in the right-hand lane.
Yeah, they had barrels, you know, those big orange and white marker barrels, and they had flashing lights on some of them. But when she took the corner, she didn't swing quite as wide as she should have, and she hit the center marker on the side of the trailer and popped it out. And
I freaked out. I knew I was going to get fired.
She freaked out. Yeah, oh, let me tell you, that was exciting. So we go down to Harrah's, and for quite some time I had to double park. I'd have to park my setup, and then I'd have to get out and park hers. So anyhow, we got parked, went to eat, come back, and hit the road and delivered in St. Joe. Meantime, we got called by the Kenosha office saying, you're going to deliver, and where was that we were delivering? Quincy or somewhere?
No, we went and picked up in Quincy.
No, we
That
didn't.
was on September 11th.
No, where did we, yeah, but not that day. Where did we deliver? That, I delivered my two. What, did I deliver them at the auction? I delivered them at the auction. Ritchie Brothers up on I-80. What's the name of that town?
Is that Morris?
Morris, Illinois. While we were there, we got a call from the guy running the Kenosha office and saying, I understand you're heading this way and I have a lot of trucks and trailers for you to move. Okay. So we head for Kenosha. We get there and there's like, what, 25 or 30 tractors and 40 or 50 trailers of all types. And some of the time I'm taking two of the tractors. Some of the time I'm taking one of the tractors and going somewhere else and picking up a dead tractor, like down at the auction, and taking them. All of these trucks were going essentially from the Kenosha yard to Ritchie Brothers in Morris. We got the hotel room at that time. It was the Knight's Inn. We got it for a week. We went over and started checking trucks out, and I took two trucks and she took a tractor and a trailer. And then we hit Interstate 94 all the way down through Illinois to Interstate 55.
Now wait a minute, we had to go through Chicago.
Right. Now, I'm telling this story.
No,
you just sit over there and drive.
You're not telling it right. You're not telling it right.
I haven't got there yet. You sit over there and drive and leave me alone.
All right.
Anyhow, we have to make this run, which is down I-94 to I-55. Then we take I-55 down to Interstate 80, and then we take 80 over to Morris. Now, I have to tell you that Interstate 55 is through Chicago. So my bride, who was only supposed to do a single, is moving every trailer imaginable, one of which she got into this big long tractor, which was longer than the tractor was longer than anything she'd driven so far. It was a Kenworth. It was called a Studio Sleeper. We hooked on to a trailer. It was called a roll-off trailer with 7 axles, and she was freaking out about that. Come to find out, with those 7 axles back there, she could almost let go of the steering wheel and the thing could just go right down the highway straight as an arrow. Anyhow, we got for 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, we moved every imaginable combination of trailer for her. Flatbeds, then 7-axle roll-off, boxes, reefers, right through Chicago traffic. My bride had, her job was, I called it the baptism of fire.
Well, make sure to tell them how many times you had to come.
There were several times.
Peel my fingers off.
There were several times that I had to climb up and peel her fingers off the steering wheel. She was clutching them so tight. I got a sidelight to this story, but I'll have to tell you.